chapter 6, one verse there, and then we're going to be in Psalm 58. It's Ephesians chapter 6 today for our message as we continue our Battle Ready series, The Fiery Darts of Lies. Ephesians 6:16, above all things, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And praise the Lord that we have the shield of faith today for all his fiery darts. And one of them we're going to be talking about is lying, of liars, of being lied about. Have you ever been lied about? We've all been lied about by someone, I'm sure, along the way. You ever been gossiped about? God will take gossip and put it on the same category as lying. Think about that. Don't gossip. You say, well, it's true. I had a preacher I knew years ago who said, I'm telling you about this, but I've already told the person themselves, and I'm going to tell you about it now. That's what do I need to know for? I'm preaching, Now, it wasn't necessarily gossip as ilustration, but still. We've all had rumors spread about us at one time or another. We've all been lied about. Perhaps they've taken something true about you and spread it around and the context of it, and therefore deceived others and saying it, twisted it a little bit. We've all had that happen to us as well. This has happened since grade school, I'd guess, where someone said something about you, true or not, manipulated it in some way. It got worse as we got older, more hurtful as it got older for sure, especially when it comes to our Christian lives. The more we grow in the Lord, it seems, the more battles there are and the lies that are spoken about you. Why would it be that as we grow closer to God, there's more lies about us? Because Satan's battling. Satan is casting his fiery darts. Let's start out by reading Psalm 58. The great psalmist David was speaking, and look at verse number 1, Psalm 58. Verse number 1, do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do you judge uprightly, O you sons of men? Yea, in the heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. Notice this, speaking lies. Their poisons like the poison of a serpent. They're like a deaf adder that stoppeth the ear, which will not hearken to the voice of charmers, charming never so wisely. Break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as the waters which run continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows, let him be as a cut in pieces, as a snail which melteth. Let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in his wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. So a man shall say, verily, there is a reward for the righteous. Verily, he is a God that judgeth the earth. In this passage, we get to see the psalmist's heart concerning liars. He's not very happy about them, is he? He doesn't like liars. Liars are hurtful and cause a lot of trouble to his life, and it's happened a lot to David. Yeah, it's happened a lot to you. The focus of the study this afternoon is not about you lying, which is a sin. The Bible says, one of the commandments is, thou shalt not bear false witness. But I'm preaching about when people lie about you, and if you live for God, there will be someone who says something about you. Just will happen. And we got to learn how to react to it and what our attitude ought to be. And the closer you draw to God, the more you do for God, the more the liars will be out there. The things they say, how they say them, why they say them, who they say them to, in what context, and who listens to them. We're going to talk about all those things as quickly as we can this afternoon as we talk about the fiery darts of lies. Let's talk about, first of all, number one, biblical truths about lies. Just some things we know to be true from the Bible about lies and liars and such things. A couple things under that. Lies always cause damage. They cause damage. They hurt, they injure, they maim, and they destroy. Lies are a terrible wickedness. Lies have more power than guns do. Lies can do far more damage than an artillery strike. A lie can. It can destroy your life. It can destroy your testimony. Proverbs 25:18 says, a man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul and a sword and a sharp arrow. He hurts, he injures, he maims, he destroys. Jeremiah 9:8 says, the tongue is an arrow shot out, it speaketh deceit. One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart he layeth his weight. He's lying to him, he's manipulating him, he's stabbing him in the back. Many a lie has caused major damage to many lives, many testimonies. We'll talk about a few later. Not only do lies cause damage, they also cause extensive collateral damage. And the collateral damage is pretty easy to see. Not only do they damage the object of the lie, but they damage the object's life. They damage the testimony of that person. They damage family. They damage friends. So if I'm lying about Brother Baxter, it's not going to just hurt him. It's going to hurt those he loves and those around him and his friends and even his neighbors because of a lie. I remember when we were kids, there was I don't know if it was a lie or truth. I don't know. One of those things. There's a house we used to walk by when I was a kid in West Salem, Ohio. And they said in that house, they found dead bodies in the walls. And that guy had killed, and he was a serial killer. I don't know, a bunch of kids lying, probably, I don't know. And behind, back when they had paneling on the walls, you always pulled the paneling off, put the people in there. Of course, when you're a kid, you don't know. Those walls are only built by 2x4s. I don't know who would fit in there, but anyway, But man, we never went around that house. The spooky house in the neighborhood, or that lady's a witch. You ever have that in your neighborhood? That lady's a witch. Not going over there. She probably just had a wart on her nose. That's all it was, and no one wanted to go by. But lies, those are small things, but lies can destroy lives. A lot of collateral damage. Not only that, they hurt the person who's lying. It's destroying them. It hurts the person they're talking to. Because the liar doesn't go talking to the person they're lying about. They're always talking to someone else, So they're hurting themselves. They're hurting the person they're lying to about someone else. And of course, lies hurt the repeater of the lie. Lies won't go very far if you don't repeat them, and especially if you don't listen to them. We'll talk about that in a minute too. But lies cause extensive damage. Let's see. They're especially used of Satan to afflict God's people. This is one of his choice tools. He loves to destroy lives of believers through lies. Of any good person, even good people aren't Christians, he tries to destroy them. How many bad things have you heard in politics of late? Lies, attacks, and lies. Listen, you may not like Trump. I got to be honest with you, a lot of times I don't like Trump. Right? But they lie about him all the time, which is terrible. I like him, at least he doesn't let them get away with it. But anyway, and we're going to deal with that too, how to deal with them. He may not be dealing with the liars biblically. I'm just saying, we'll deal with that in a minute. But it's hard when people lie about you. By the way, you see how they lied about him, calling him a Nazi. That's just terrible. Don't call, you got to call Nazis. I don't think people know what Nazis are. Anyone below my age, at least when I was growing up, we had all the World War II movies. We knew what Nazis were. We knew what the SS was, Papers, please. I watched Hogan's Heroes, and the Nazi guy would come in every week, if you ever saw that. But that's how I learned about Nazis, but Hogan's Heroes. But listen, Satan loves to use lies to afflict the believer's life. Let's think about it. When you've been lied to, it afflicts you. When you've been lied about, I should say, it hurts. It hurts. And we're going to deal with how to deal with that. John 8:44 says, "You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and a father of it." And he uses lies to afflict the Christian's life. Letter D, many have succumbed to Satan's attacks. Many I've known in my life, when someone lied about them, they quit on God. They quit on church. They quit serving the Lord. How many times have you talked to someone? Invite them to church. I don't go. Those people over there at churches, they're all hypocrites. You know what might have happened? Someone was spreading rumors or gossiping. Lying. Terrible, terrible. Destroys people. Now, I'm not saying it's an excuse to quit church or quit on God. It's not. But we understand there's been many people who have succumbed to these attacks. Wrong responses to lies. Wrong responses to lies. All right. Here, we're hit, the rubber meets the road now. Everything we're going to mention under this point is the way the flesh responds. Okay? The carnal responses. And you know what's one thing about carnal responses? They feel right at the moment. Right? They always feel right now. They do. Here are the carnal responses to lies. And these are all wrong responses, okay? Number one, letter A, we take offense. I'm offended. Can I remind us Christians that we are not to live offended in this life? We're to be above this life, setting our affections on things above, not on things of the earth. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Keeping our eyes on him, dying to self, mortifying the deeds of the flesh. I'm dead, Christ liveth in me. So I can't be offended if I'm walking with God. And I got to remember, Satan's using that liar to try to offend me. And I can't allow that to happen, because when I'm offended, every time I'm offended, I usually get out of the will of God a little bit. When I get offended, you know what I'm feeling sorry for? Me. I feel little poor me. How dare they lie about me? It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is easy stuff. But it's a fleshly response to be offended. Psalm 119, 165, a great verse I memorized when I was young. Great peace have they that love thy law, and some things shall offend them. Lies shall offend them. No, nothing shall offend them. So I want to live above the sins of this earth, my sins and other people's sins. I'm not going to let them bring me down. I'm not going to be offended. We have to die to self and live like Paul did. Galatians 2:20, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless I live, and yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life that I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. So it's not about me. It's all about him. And I don't need to live this life offended. I can't let lies offend me. It's a wrong response. Being offended, I know you feel offended, but here's what you do. God, help me not to let this go, because I'm living in the flesh if I'm going to live offended by this person. B, responding in anger and bitterness, right along with what we spoke on, the other fiery darts of anger, the fiery darts of bitterness. That's how we usually respond. We get mad. How dare they? How dare they lie about me? Focus is on me. And I'm offended. And I get mad. And not only do I get mad, we start to respond in rage, outrage, and explode. And we'll storm off to deal with the lie. And if I'm storming off to deal with the lie, I'm probably not going to take care of it very well. We launch a counterattack. We end up saying things that we can't take back, or doing things we can't repair. And but we say, well, I'm not letting them get away with that. And then we take it to the next text, letter C. We seek vengeance. We seek vengeance. We will lie about them. I'll say a lie about them. I'll try to hurt them. I'll try to bring them down for their lie. And we'll seek vengeance. Let me tell you, those are unbiblical responses. Those are sinful, fleshly, carnal responses God has not given you permission to do these things. Be right with him, can't do it. Well then, how do we respond biblically to lies? Responding biblically to lies. Well, first of all, we got to do this. Consider the nature of the lie. Think about the lie first. And this is important. Number one, its severity. How big a lie was it? What kind of lie was it? Can I tell you there's different types of lies? There are lies of malicious intent, and then there are lies that are misstatements or misunderstandings. So John said something to me, and I thought he said it like this, and I tell someone else about it, and that's not what John said at all. I've had that happen to me 100 times in life, in ministry, where someone said I said something, and I didn't say that. That's not what was said. And so there is a difference between a malicious lie and a misunderstanding or a misstatement. Agreed? By the way, they're both still lies. And lies still cause damage. So it's not good. But how we deal with them, it does matter, and how we deal with them. If someone's just simply misstated something, then what do you think we ought to do? Get it corrected. And usually correcting the misstatement or the misunderstanding, everybody's happy, everyone's good. That's why it's not good to just listen to lies and hear rumors and hear gossip and tell other people gossip of what they said. You know what's better to do is just deal with it. And a lot of times you'll find out that it wasn't anything. It wasn't, and if anything, it wasn't malicious. It was a misunderstanding, a misstatement, and everyone goes out stronger friends at the end, if we'll deal with it correctly. But there's a difference in severity. We got to realize that. If it's a malicious, if it's a misstatement, it just needs to be corrected, and the issue, the drama, is easily extinguished. But if it's malicious, that is a much more difficult situation. You're going to need this shield of faith to respond correctly and work through this bad situation, this attack of Satan. Number two, it is rarely presented directly at its object. As we consider the nature of the lie, its severity, and then we also need to know it's rarely presented directly at its object. In other words, the nature of lies almost always need a carrier. If I'm going to lie about John, I'm not going to say to John what I'm lying about. Never. No one ever says that. I'm not going to tell a lie about Shannon to her. I always tell the lie to someone else. Always. There has to be a carrier of it. It's rarely directed at its object, and that's the nature of lies. It needs a carrier. It needs someone that will hear the lie, that will listen and will spread the lie. Let that never be you. We'll deal with that in a moment too. Well, we'll deal with it right now. Letter B. When a lie comes your way, stop it right then and reprimand them. Stop it right then and reprimand them. I'm not saying, you dirty, rotten sinner, how dare you? Not that. You know what'll fix it pretty easy? Hey, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that rumor, that gossip, that lie. I don't want to hear it. Stop it right now. Don't let you have a listening ear to people talking about other people, especially their lies. And many times when people gossip, they're full of lies. It's hard to determine what's what. Don't accept the word of someone presenting a lie or presenting it even if in any form that constitutes gossip. I've got to stop it right here with me. Proverbs 26:20 says, where no wood is, the fire goeth out. So where there is no talebearer, the strife ceaseth. You become a talebearer when you listen to the tale. You're bearing it. Think about it. A talebearer. You say, that's someone who speaks a lie. No, someone who listens to it too. If you listen to it, you've received the gossip, you're bearing it around. That's true. You say, well, I never gossip. You do if you listen to gossip. You don't have to be the purveyor of it only. You can be the listener of it. A lot of people, you know what they say? Oh, they just love a good piece of gossip. They love to listen to gossip. And maybe you don't repeat it, but you love to hear it. Same thing. It's still you're a bearer. You're a tale bearer. You're bearing the tale. One thing you must be ready, though, for if you talk to someone in their lie, you say, listen, stop it right now. And if you have something to say about them, let's go to them right now. We shouldn't do that. That's what I mean by reprimanding. You know what's going to happen, right? 9 times out of 10. You're the next person to be lying about. You'll probably be that person. So be it. I'd rather be the person that's lied about than be a talebearer or a gossip. I don't want to be that. Because that's sin. It's not a sin to be lied about. It's not my sin if others lie about me. It's my sin if I listen to it, if I bear it, and especially if I repeat it, or if I lie about someone else. It's better to let them know that they don't have a ready ear in you, because I tell you what, they will not talk to you anymore about such things. And that's good. And never agree, by the way, never to agree to withhold the name of those who gossip. Never be one of these, well, I'm not going to be a snitch. That's what the world and the ghetto crowds say. Don't you ever be someone who can't say who said something. That's how you deal with problems, is you find out who said what, and you deal with it. Of late, someone said, well, someone told me. I said, well, who told you? Tell me who told you. Well, I'm not going to say. Then don't tell me. What do you want me to do? I can't do anything about it. Tell me who said it. We'll deal with it. We'll find out what the truth is. Wouldn't tell me. Never agree to withhold the name of those who gossip, because the problem cannot be dealt with, therefore. If you do hear something and someone gossips or they're lying, find out who said it and deal with it. That's where you start. Letter C. Alert the source of the information, what was told to you. If John tells me, Michael Skirvin told me this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Michael Skirvin and say, Michael, did you say that? Hey, do you know a lot of times they'll say, Michael doesn't say anything anyway. We all know that. Michael don't say a whole lot. And he talks, he just don't talk too much, which is good. But I'll find out, Michael, I never said that. Where did you even get that? Or here's what I said. And we'll find out it's a misunderstanding sometimes. Or we'll find out he's really didn't come from him. It's just him. He's the liar. He's the one purveying falsehoods. John's the one causing the problem. It wasn't even Michael in the first place. And so we got to deal. We're able to find it out. And find out where the problem comes. So alert the source of the information. If it was said about you, you can do it as well. Someone said something about me, okay, I'm going to go to that person. Let's deal with it. Let's find out what the problem is. So-and-so told me something, and I want to speak to you about it and tell them what was said. Let them know you're not angry, but I really, truly, as a believer, want to deal with what was said and make sure what happened here and correct what has been stated. Whether it's a misunderstanding, or it was a lie that we need to deal with, or was it the truth and I'm the problem? We're going to find out which. You'll know real quick if the person lied or if it's a misunderstanding, real quick, because a person who had a misunderstanding will fix it right then and say, oh man, I'm sorry. That was a misunderstanding. We good? We good. We're good. Okay, good. You have a closer friendship, hopefully. If the person's a liar, they'll get defensive and say, how dare you? How could you attack me like this? Why would you come to me like this? That is a wrong attitude. That's a sinful, carnal attitude. And it will be, no matter what was said, you'll see the spirit of that person right away and know where they're at. Letter D, share with the object of the lie, of the attack, and see if this can be reconciled. Let's say John did tell me something, and that Michael said, and Michael said, yeah, this is what I believe to be true. Honestly, sometimes I don't know if it's a lie or not, but it shouldn't be said. Then we go to the person who was talked about, and we deal with it. It's not easy. Listen, none of this is easy. But I want to see Michael and whoever was lied about reconciled about whatever the disagreement is, whatever the rumor is, or whatever the lie is. And we need to come together, because that's what Christian men and women ought to do, rather than to keep circularly running around, talking about each other, lying and gossiping. That's not going to do. This is how you approach the other person. I'm not trying to start a problem, but I think you should know that so-and-so said this about you, and if you'd like, I will go with you to resolve the issue. That's the way to squash it. If Michael told John, who told me, and I confirmed with Michael about Brother Baxter, I'm going to go to Brother Baxter and said, Michael said this to John, to me, and we need to get this out in the open and deal with it. And if they're at all decent, mature, godly men, they'll deal with it. If one of them is not, they'll probably be out of our church. So be it. So be it. If they're a liar and a gossip, we don't need them. Is that not true? Liars and gossip destroy churches, and you don't want to have them. The lie will be either answered and extinguished, or it will bring anger and lashing out on the part of the accuser, and that will tell you the nature of the lie, that they were just attacking and trying to destroy and being used of Satan. Ultimately, we need to respond like David. Here's what David did in Scripture when people lied about him, and people lied about David a lot. The great king of Israel lied about him a lot. The one thing he would do, and this is what these are the things we ought to do. Number one, he exposes the lie. He exposes the lies. If you read through the Psalms, Psalm 58, 3 and 4, it said, the wicked are estranged from the womb, and they go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. He talks about the lies a lot. Psalm 62, 3 and 4. Am I there? I think so. Psalm 62, 3 and 4. How long will you imagine mischief against a man? You shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall ye be, as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth. They curse inwardly. Selah. Psalm 109, verse 2 and 3 is another. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are open against me. They have spoken against me with lying tongue. They compassed me about also with words of hatred, and fought against me without cause. He had exposed the lie. That's what we ought to do too. Nothing wrong with exposing a lie, dealing with the lie. But outside of what we just talked about, that's all we can do about our lie, people who lie. We expose it, we deal with it, and then we have to move on after that. A couple other things we can do, though, or lessons we can learn from David. Number 2, he never tries to defend his reputation. Can I tell you, there's no quicker way to get outside the will of God than defending yourself all the time. By fighting the word that's out there about you and telling everyone, I didn't say that. It ain't true. Well, it's your word against them. You can do that all day, and it still won't take away the lie. You can spend the rest of your life declaring at the top of your lungs, trying to defend your reputation, and it won't do any good to say those things. People are going to believe what they believe. You can spend the rest of your life trying to do that. But what you ought to do, rather than spending your life defending your reputation, spend your life living for God. Nothing's changed. My attitude shouldn't change. My service of God shouldn't change. They lied. I tried to deal with it. They didn't let me deal with it, or maybe we did. But me running around defending myself is not a very good testimony. Jesus didn't go around defending himself. I mean, he did a little. He was the Son of God. But he didn't spend much time on that. He came preaching the gospel. John the Baptist didn't go around defending his reputation. They said of John, the greatest man who ever lived, and Jesus, the God in human form, they ran around saying all kinds of things about them. never see the Bible them dealing with it. They said, read over that passage where Jesus says, they said of him, he's a friend of publicans and sinners, and he's a winebibber and a glutton, and that of John as well. They said all kinds of things. You don't even see him defending himself about those things. But what did he say? I should have looked up the passage. Wisdom is justified of her children. What's that saying? Quit worrying about your reputation. Let your life show who you are. Live your life. Your life will show who you are. And don't avenge yourselves. Don't fight for yourself. Romans 12:19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but give place unto the wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. The Lord will take care of it. Let God take care of your reputation. And you live for God. Your life will bear out who you are. It really will. And you honor God and quit defending yourself. I always say I was around a lot of guys who had a lot more talent, a lot more ability to do something for God, and none of them are doing anything. And I'm still serving the Lord. Not fancy, nothing special. Just going forward for my God. I ain't going to worry about me. I don't worry about my recognition. I want to worry about the Lord and what he's called me to do. And we all have got to do that in our lives as Christians. He doesn't try to defend his reputation. He does expose the lies, deals with the lie, with the people involved. He doesn't try to defend his reputation, but this he does do, and we need to learn from this as well. David poured his heart out to God. And so that's our relief. He said, what do I do about this lie? I'm hurt. What do you do with it? Pour your heart out to God. Well, I want to get him back. Pour your heart out to God. Well, I want to talk about it. Talking about it ain't going to do no good. Pour your heart out to God. Give it to God. You can spend the rest of your days chasing down the lies, correcting the record, or you can live for Christ and let your testimony stand for what it is. David let God know all about his injuries, his attacks, his hurts, his brokenness, and his feelings. And he left them there. That's what we are to do. Here's a great statement to take note of. I meant to put this in your notes, but God doesn't judge us for our feelings. He judges us for our actions. God doesn't judge us for our feelings. He judges us for our actions. I can't help but feel things sometimes, right? I can't help it. But what I do with that feeling matters, and what I do with my life matters. And so I can't help my feelings, but give them to God. That's what he says. Come unto me, all you that labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly at heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Cast all your care upon him, because he careth for you. He says, give me your burdens, and give them to him. Pour your heart out to him. Read over later Psalm 58, 6 to 11. Psalm 58, 6 to 11. We read most of that already. Psalm 109, 26 to 31. Psalm 109, 26 to 31. And Psalm 62, 1 through 8. Psalm 62, 1 through 8. And see how David just would pour out his feelings to God and leave them there. That's what we need to do. And number 4, he left the judgment to God. He let God take care of the judgment. God can do a much better job of judging than I can anyway. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes of people's lives. They may be just like me and they said something stupid. They responded wrong just like I would sometimes. Quit judging them so harshly, but let God take care of it. Don't you worry about taking care of it. God will take care of it. God says in the end, Galatians 6, 7, and 8, be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth in the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth in the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. Let's let God take care of the judgment. Let's leave it to him. And then number 4, depend on the shield of faith. I got to keep looking to God. I got to keep trusting in him. And I can't keep picking up that shield of faith every day, because the lies will come. And if I don't have faith, I'm going to respond wrong. Wrong attitude, and attack and get vengeful and get hateful, and it's going to ruin my testimony, it's going to ruin my life. Not just what they said about me ruins my life, my response, as much as their lie ruins my life, so does my response. And we got to be careful of that. Pick up that shield of faith. When lies come our way, gossip, hurts, pour your heart out to God, trust in Him, hold up that shield of faith, and trust completely in His Word, because the Lord has said that in His Word is all truth, and I can have faith in what He's said and trust in what He's left us as an example, as we've stated before. These things which were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the Scriptures, might have hope. And so that's how we deal with the fiery darts of lying or lies. Don't let them affect you. Respond correctly to them. Amen. Let's stand. Let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, God, there's nothing more difficult.